Today on Studio One, it's a disease that's dangerous but preventable. Learn how some have changed their diagnosis. Also, we'll tell you why one coach's idea has caused mixed reactions. And we'll tell the story of how two churches helped each other after disaster struck twice.
From the University of North Dakota, this is Studio One, celebrating 25 years.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Katie Fletcher. Well, it's that time of the year again.
It is that time of the year again.
We even got a Christmas tree to show.
We do, yeah.
Where people start preparing for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, friends and family get together, and what most people bring to those gatherings is food.
Gotta have the food.
And we actually have a chef that's coming on later on, Kim Holmes. He's been on the show many times, and he's going to make a shrimp appetizer.
And it's always good, so I can't wait for that. Also on the show, sometimes the most exciting thing to see in a basketball game is a slam dunk. But these can be few and far between, especially with women. Find out how some are proposing to change that.
And mentors help guide people through their actions and advice. We'll talk to a woman who is helping shape a young girl's life through the Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Before we get to all of that, here's today's news with Allie Strand.
Thanks, Monty and Katie. The civil war in Syria is on the verge of becoming a worldwide problem. Sources say the country's military is prepared to use chemical weapons against its own people. The Syrian military has begun to load the chemicals for sarin into bombs. Sarin is a deadly nerve gas previously used by Saddam Hussein in 1988. If used, the bombs would be dropped by airplanes during an air attack. Thousands of residents are fleeing the country fearful for their own safety. President Obama warned Syria that using chemical weapons could have undisclosed consequences. Nearly 100 pot smokers gathered at the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington on Wednesday night. They stood out in the cold and lit up at midnight to celebrate the legalization of marijuana. The new law allows for the legal possession of marijuana, but smoking it in public is still illegal. Smoking in public is punishable by a fine, much like drinking in public. The law also states that only adults over the age of 21 are allowed to possess an ounce or less. Washington and Colorado both voted to legalize pot during the November elections. Drug use among teenagers no longer comes as a shock to most people. However, a recent study in Minnesota shows 5% of middle and high school students have used anabolic steroids. Nearly 3,000 kids from 20 different schools were surveyed in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Almost all of them had engaged in at least one muscle-building activity, but 1/3 of the kids used what researchers describe as unhealthy methods of gaining muscle mass. These methods include taking steroids and overusing muscle enhancement substances such as creatine. Researchers say a more muscular body is ideal in today's media and may be a factor as to why kids use steroids.
The number two reason we refer to as a cosmetic quick fix. They want to look more attractive. They want to alter their body in some form. And we call it the Barbie doll effect or the G.I. Joe syndrome.
Professor White also says one reason for drug use might be parents encouraging their kids to perform better in sports by using protein shakes, which may lead to steroids. December celebrates a very special birthday. Although the 25th may be the first day that comes to mind, December 3rd was another big day. It marked the 20th birthday for text messaging. In 1992, Neil Papworth sent Merry Christmas using a PC to his coworker. The idea was to use text messaging as an in-company service. Nowadays, texting is the second most common use for a cell phone, the first being checking the time. Last year, more than 8 trillion texts were sent and around 15 million leave our mobile screens every minute. In America, diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death. The disease has been increasing for the past decade.
Diabetes just reached a record high in one Midwestern state. 6.9% of the North Dakota population has diabetes. That's only 0.1% below the national average. This is making some to take drastic action in their lifestyles.
But what really got me motivated was doing some research. Plus my son was getting married and I had to, look like a healthy father out there. So we signed up and we've been working out here for about 2 years.
Since 1995, the number of people with diabetes has nearly doubled in the Peace Garden state. Richard Getzman was diagnosed with diabetes 10 years ago when he decided to make some life changes.
It sounds to me it's environmental and behavior and lifestyle. And behavior and lifestyle are a big issue. We all have issues with this. All of us like to eat and party and go out.
Corny Average says that North Dakotans' eating and exercise habits may be bad because of the seasonal changes. With long, cold winters, it is tempting to eat or relax a few extra hours in front of a warm fireplace.
If we only have our role models as our parents or our aunts and uncles, and they don't exercise, we most likely won't exercise.
Richard started changing his lifestyle and watching his food intake. He even got his supportive family and coworkers on board because of his motivational spirit.
If you just lay at home and be a couch potato, no, you've got to get out and move. You've got to be motivated.
With this positive attitude and supportive environment, Richard is determined to continue his road to a healthier lifestyle. Cecilia Angeseth, Studio One News.
In 1958, fewer than 1 in 100 Americans had been diagnosed with diabetes. In 2010, it was about 1 in 14. And that's the news for now. Monty and Katie?
All right, thanks, Allie. Again, another reason to get out and exercise a little bit, huh?
Yes, you gotta keep those bodies healthy.
That's right.
Well, with the weather outside, it looks like some are wondering, whether we'll have a white Christmas or
Yeah,
not.
at least in our area, it's still brown out there.
It is, it definitely is. Well, let's go to the weather news now with Stephanie Waldrop to learn a little bit more about that.
Thanks, Katie and Monty. Yes, many people are wondering if we are going to have a white Christmas this year or if we are going to be having another brown Christmas like much of the United States saw last year. Now, currently, there is not a lot of snow accumulation across the United States. Much of the snow is up through the Rocky Mountains with 8 inches or higher in some of the higher elevations. And then we're seeing about 4 inches of accumulation throughout some of the lower elevations of the Rockies and also across the Canadian border. Now, because of the small amount of snow for this time of the year, the probability of a white Christmas is seeming very small. But actually, the National Weather Service is saying that much of the United States could be seeing a white Christmas. Now, for parts of the northern plains, especially North Dakota and Minnesota, and also parts of Maine, we are seeing about a 75% chance for a white Christmas. Other parts are seeing a higher chance at about a 90% throughout much of the Rockies and also in parts of northern Minnesota near the Canadian border. Now, because the white Christmas is a part of the white Christmas is probable because we are going to be seeing lower than average temperatures throughout December and higher than average precipitation in December. Now, temperatures across the United States are looking cooler than average throughout much of the central parts of the United States and also warmer than average up the East Coast and throughout the Northeast, especially in Maine. As far as precipitation goes, wetter than average throughout much of the eastern coast and also parts of the northern plains, and then drier than average over on the west coast. Now, our weather question for this week: how thick does ice have to be before you can snowmobile on it? Our answers range from 4 to 12 inches, and later on in the show we are going to be having a story about snowmobiles and safety precautions.
All right, thanks, Stephanie.
Well, I know my mother would probably say don't go snowmobiling on the ice.
Yeah, my mom would probably need at least a foot on there.
All right. Well, let's turn now to some sports highlights. We have basketball on deck, and Brian Gendro here for us.
Thanks, Monty and Katie. The first person on the athletic team to be blamed for losing is usually the coach. Fans believe by firing this coach, the team will get better, but this may not be the case. A recent study from Science Daily tried to determine if firing a coach after a losing season helps the team in the future. They collected research by studying how coaching replacements affected team performance over a 4-year span. Teams that replaced their losing coach to boost results on the field rarely saw a change. Most of the programs remained similar to how they were, and in some cases got worse. The study was based on college athletics, but all levels from high school to the pros can be effective.
And hopefully they're learning life lessons, they're gaining experience, they're going to help them past their high school career. And it's not just about winning and losing.
Science Daily reported that from 1997 to 2010, 10% of college football teams fired their coaches after losing seasons. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. What was the only class quarterback Matt Leinart needed to take in his final semester at the University of Southern California? Your choices are biochemistry, ballroom dancing, intro to fashion, and sports business. The answer to that question will be coming up later in the show, and that's the sports for now. Monty and Katie?
Thanks, Brian. Can't wait for that answer. A visit from England's king and queen can be accompanied by pressures to make their stay perfect. The new movie Hyde Park on Hudson is centered around the president's love affair and the visit he receives from royalty. We'll preview that film.
Also, not everyone is lucky enough to have someone to look up to. Next, we'll meet two people who have built a relationship through a volunteer program.
Life is busy, but many professionals are finding ways to advance their career with a Master's in Business Administration at the University of North Dakota. Students attend UND online and on campus. The program is nationally recognized and emphasizes one-on-one with faculty. Find the title you deserve. Enroll today.
At the University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, classes have real-life application. Mentors guide students. Our work improves quality of life by answering tough questions with creativity and innovation. The University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, training tomorrow's engineering and geology experts today.
What does cancer look like? What about diabetes, heart disease? Medical laboratory professionals are a vital link in the treatment of disease and maintenance of health. They investigate clues found in the body that will direct patient care. The University of North Dakota's laboratory science programs are some of the most innovative, far-reaching, fully accredited programs in the nation. The UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences can help you become one of the few who see beneath the surface.
This scene is familiar, but you and your friends are at risk. 1 in 3 Americans will die from heart disease or stroke. Think about it, 1 in 3. Every day, more than 2,000 Americans die from cardiovascular disease. The Million Hearts Initiative works to prevent 1 million heart attacks and strokes. Understand the risks, get active, and reduce sodium and trans fats in your diet. It's a silent killer, but now is the time to take control of your health. Learn more about making a heart-healthy future.
Celebrating 25 years. You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
Volunteering can be life-changing. The Big Brother, Big Sister program gives volunteers the opportunity to become mentors. Big Sister and Little Sister, Holly Danowitz and Janessa Garza, are a part of the program. Thanks to both of you for coming on today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Holly, I want to start by asking you a couple questions first. Could you explain the Big Brother, Big Sister program in a nutshell for us?
Sure, yeah. It's a mentorship program that in Grand Forks is a 9-month minimum commitment that you can sign up at the YMCA, and little sisters and little brothers can sign up, and they go on a wait list. And then volunteers go through an orientation process, and then they can apply if they're interested, and then go through an interview, and then you get matched to a little sister or a little brother. And you spend about, it's 2 hours a week for each week for at least 9 months, if not longer.
Okay. Well, what about your story getting involved? Why did you get involved? How did that happen?
Right. Yeah, that's a funny question. I'm a psychologist, and I do evals for younger children. And sometimes on my evaluations for my recommendations, I'll suggest that my patient be matched up with a mentor, a big brother, or big sister. And I had a parent one time ask me, okay, sure, where do I do that? And I thought, I don't know. And so I called around and found out that it was at the YMCA. At the same time, I was looking for a volunteer experience for myself. And so I went through the orientation and decided that that was something I wanted to do.
Well, you two look like pretty good friends already. How did you get matched up?
So as a volunteer, I was able to choose an age group that I thought I would be interested in working with. I think there was 3 different ones. And then I was provided a couple different applications in that group. And so when I looked at Janessa's application, I thought she sounded like a lot of fun. and that we would be a good match personality-wise, so that was why we matched up.
All right. Well, Janessa, I want to ask you a couple questions. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have a 6-year-old brother, and he's probably at this program, Encore, where it's an after-school program with mom and dad.
Do you have any sisters?
No.
No. But now you have a big sister.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
She sounds like a real good sister to me.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a good compliment coming from you, I think. What are some of the things that you and Holly get to do together?
Well, we get to go to the movies, ride bike. We get to do like all sorts of things, like bake and all that. And
Yeah, I saw
go to
a
the
picture
park.
of the both of you. You were licking a big spoon. Looks like you like baking. And I think we're looking at a picture of a lemonade stand. What was that?
Well, we had nothing else to do. I'm like, what about a lemonade stand? That's fun. So we started off with $3, and then we added up to 17. So we got $3 in all. And then this nice, kind woman gave me $10.
Oh my gosh! What did you do with the money?
We went shopping.
That sounds pretty good. Now, tell me this: what have you learned from Holly?
I've learned respect. No yelling. I learned all sorts of things from her.
So you learned respect, and also obviously how to make money quickly with a lemonade stand.
Yeah.
All right.
That might have been all her.
Sure. And Holly, what have you learned from Janessa?
It's been a really fun experience. I've learned a lot. Probably, I'm guessing what parenting might be like. I don't have kids of my own, and so it's taught me a little bit of patience and understanding what it's like to be with someone on a long-term basis. It's fun.
As a mentor with this program, are you given any kind of guidance by the program on what to do? You know, Janessa actually said, well, there's nothing to do that day. Maybe we'll do a lemonade stand. So she contributed, obviously, with an idea. Do you have any kind of guidance, or how does that work?
Yeah, at the orientation, and then after the application was in, we talked about what the different things we could do, where I think the YMCA lets us go anytime we'd like, so that's nice. And there was a list on our applications of what we like to do. So Janessa had already marked off things that she was interested in, but we'll get opportunities to go to UND basketball games. Sometimes we're given tickets, or I think with Cirque du Soleil coming up, that was an option. So sometimes they just provide things too as well.
Sure, okay. And what is your favorite activity? Speaking of activities that you've done so far with Janessa.
I have a lot of fun. Well, it's hard to choose. We do hide and seek, and I sometimes like that, or we've done a lot of baking. We went to the new water slides and would race down, and so I've liked all those.
So it sounds like a lot of fun. Janessa, if you could, well, first of all, what was your favorite activity that you've done so far?
Well, my favorite activity me and Holly's done is, well, my favorite thing. Okay, that is hard.
That's a hard question. I ask the hard questions on this show. Like,
being together.
well, that's great. Now, if you could do anything, what would you like to do?
Go to a Justin Bieber concert.
Really? A Justin Bieber? I wish I could give you tickets, but I don't have tickets. Holly, there are rules and regulations as well, right? Can you go to a Justin Bieber concert?
We could do that if it was a day trip. Probably. There aren't any overnights for the program, so day trip would be the longest. And as far as requirements for someone, just have to have a valid driver's license and a good working car. So I have those still. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I have to ask you, what is the best part about creating this relationship for you, Holly?
I'm not from Grand Forks. I don't have a ton of family in the area, so this is the closest thing I have, and so for me it's a lot of fun just to be able to have someone I know I'm going to get together with weekly and bond with.
Okay, and what about you, Janessa? What's the best part about having a big sister like this?
It's fun because I've never had a big sister, and I've always dreamed what it would be like having a big sister, because I have nobody to do things with besides a brother, but he'll want to do boy things, and right. I've always wanted to do girl things because I have no big sister.
Yeah. Well, now you do. So your dream came true, right? All right. Well, thank you both for coming on the show. It was great talking to you. Can I get a fist bump at least? There we go. All right. Thanks for coming on. Coming up, it's no secret men's sporting events are more popular to watch than women's. Find out what one women's basketball coach is suggesting to increase its fan base. Also, part of the holiday season is about giving back. We will talk to the members of a church who are repaying a debt of kindness.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
It's not the size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
My doctor tells me to play outside every day.
I see a physician assistant in my rural clinic. I'm glad that she's here.
But healthcare is changing.
Rural North Dakota communities face workforce shortages, particularly in primary care. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences addresses the state's healthcare needs by educating the next generation of healthcare professionals. We advocate for improved health in rural communities.
Your future depends on this moment. Take the path that leads to your future.
The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where personal connections matter, where classmates become friends, where leading scholars become mentors. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
Hosting a party for guests can be stressful, especially if your guests are the King and Queen of England. In the movie Hyde Park on Hudson, Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his wife Eleanor do just that. Academy Award nominees Bill Murray and Laura Linney star in a historical film that producers say involves wit, charm, and drama. Eleanor and FDR prepare to host the King and Queen of England in order to compare ideas and thoughts about Britain's imminent war with Germany. Not only is the movie a meeting between nations, but both parties find meanings of true love and friendship along the way.
The history of these people, of the Roosevelts, is deep and well documented, and there's a lot to swallow and a lot to digest when you have a lot of responsibility.
Prior to the start of the filming of the 1939 set, the director and producer immersed themselves in research at the library and museum. The cast was taken through the grounds of the actual Hyde Park on Hudson before filming. The movie opens December 7th with an R rating. Now it's time to look at the events happening in your area. A New Jersey church gave a generous donation to help another church in Grand Forks, North Dakota, after a flood devastated the area in 1997. Now the Grand Forks Church is returning the favor.
The flood that overtook Grand Forks, North Dakota in 1997 is a disheartening memory for the lives of many. St. Michael's Catholic Church was among those hit hard and suffered nearly $4.5 million in damage.
It was a feeling of did you want to give up? I mean, it was just a hopeless, and the town was just so deserted, and it was just felt like you were in a ghost town. I mean, it was so unreal.
You know, I was kind of naive. I thought, well, what the heck, it'll dry out, and we'll be back in business in 2 or 3 weeks. Well, it didn't quite work that way.
Among several donations the church received, one counterpart in Long Branch, New Jersey gave a special gift.
They wanted our pastor to come out to their place at St. Michael's Church in New Jersey and talk and tell about the flood, because they wanted to take up a collection for him.
Father Sherman returned with a generous donation of $12,000. Little did they know that 15 years later, Hurricane Sandy would provide an opportunity for St. Michael's of Grand Forks to return the favor.
The St. Michael's Church out there had helped us out. So I got a hold of the people at St. Michael's. I said, listen, let's send some money out to them.
And as both congregations reflect on these tragic events, each is reminded that with the help of others, we can stay afloat.
You know, if you have faith and continue to think that it's going to get better, and it does.
I'm Stephanie Shire reporting for Studio One.
So far, St. Michael's Church in Grand Forks has raised $18,000. The money is a result of special collections for their sister church in New Jersey. Coming up, for some, cold weather, snow, and ice mean one thing: snowmobile season. Find out important safety tips before you hit the trails. That story plus news, sports, and weather in the next half hour of Studio One.
Closed captioning for Studio One is underwritten in part by NDAD, helping others to help themselves.
At the University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, classes have real-life application. Mentors guide students. Our work improves quality of life by answering tough questions with creativity and innovation. The University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, training tomorrow's engineering and geology experts today.
Life is busy, but many professionals are finding ways to advance their career with a Master's in Business Administration at the University of North Dakota. Students attend UND online and on campus. The program is nationally recognized and emphasizes one-on-one with faculty. Find the title you deserve. Enroll today.
What does cancer look like? What about diabetes, heart disease? Medical laboratory professionals are a vital link in the treatment of disease and maintenance of health. They investigate clues found in the body that will direct patient care. The University of North Dakota's laboratory science programs are some of the most innovative, far-reaching, fully accredited programs in the nation. The UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences can help you become one of the few who see beneath the surface.
From the University of North Dakota, celebrating 25 years, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One.
Thanks for joining us today and our decking of our halls. Look at that. Isn't it great?
Yes, poinsettias, Christmas tree.
We have everything. And you know, of course, those who celebrate Christmas, they're really thinking about that season. It's that time, the holidays. And one thing that is on everyone's mind, it doesn't matter who it is what Santa is going to bring them.
Yep, people are making their lists, what they want to see under the tree.
And Santa's checking his list twice, right? Well, anyway, we went out on the street, we asked people what they wanted from Santa, and their answers are coming up. Also, in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, many people turn to energy drinks to get a boost during the day, but those beverages could be harmful. Find out how the FDA is reacting to recent health scares as a result of too much caffeine.
Also, dance can be difficult when specific moves are involved. We'll visit a place where people get the opportunity to learn all the right steps.
And food complements time spent with friends and family. Later, we will meet a man who knows how to make the perfect dish for any gathering. But first, here's today's news with Ali Strand.
Thanks, Monty and Katie. President Obama and House Speaker John Boehner spoke on the phone Wednesday to discuss the fiscal cliff. Despite strong partisan views on how to solve the country's economic crisis, the two did reach one agreement. However, they have not disclosed what was discussed between them. Obama did say in a lunchtime discussion, quote, "We can probably solve this in about a week. It's not that tough." But with Congress having only 3 scheduled working days left this year, little progress has been made to avert the upcoming cliff. Topics of negotiations to crumble the cliff are whether to raise taxes or cut federal spending. The phone conversation between Obama and Boehner marks the first time the two have spoken in a week. 18-year-old Jack McCarthy is making a business out of an ugly holiday tradition. The Wisconsin teen is selling ugly Christmas sweaters out of his basement. His website, ultimateuglychristmas.com, sells sweaters from $20 to $50 a piece. After selling his first sweater for $50 on eBay 3 years ago, McCarthy's now shipping 40 out a day. Jack built his stockpile from flea markets, thrift stores, and yard sales across 6 different states. Jack's mom says she will be happy to have her basement back when the entrepreneur graduates high school in a few months. Almost every block in America has their own Clark Griswold. Maybe it's your neighbor or maybe it's you. No matter how many lights you hang this season, there are certain precautions that need to be taken. The National Fire Protection Association says almost 150 house fires occur every year because of Christmas lights. To prevent fire, experts suggest no more than 3 strands of lights for each outlet. Also, if you notice a flicker with your normal house lights, chances are a circuit is overloaded. Some say switching to LED Christmas lights are best for energy use and
they burn
fire.
Cooler. They use way less energy, probably 75 to 90% less of incandescent lighting, and less amperage. So it's safer that way for your outlet.
Raymond suggests to make sure all lights are off when you go to bed. Also, only use lights outside that are specifically labeled for outdoor use. It's that time of year again when the guy in the big red suit comes to town. Not only does this bring joy to children, it also gives the Santas quite a bit of extra cash. The number of freelance Santas has boomed in recent years due to entertainment booking websites like Santa for Hire. Some of these Santas can make anywhere from $135 to $175 an hour, and oftentimes end the season $12,000 richer. Although dressing up as Santa may bring in a significant salary, some of the costumes can cost up to $3,500. Energy drink companies say they can stimulate metabolism, improve concentration, and increase performance. But with recent reports of multiple deaths and hospitalizations, energy drinks may be providing more than we paid for.
Big drinks like Monster, Red Bull, and 5 Hour Energy make millions of dollars in revenue each year. But what may not be known are their side effects. One can contain 4 to 7 times the amount of caffeine found in coffee. Their short-term side effects are minimal, but in the long run, nutrition experts say it can affect the nervous system and, most importantly, the heart.
10 to 12 energy drinks a day. All of a sudden one day I just had chest pains and it hurt.
Energy drink companies often target teenagers, young adults, and those who need a quick jolt of energy. Because it's sold as a dietary supplement, companies are not obligated to label ingredients, such as caffeine.
Yeah, you get that immediate, instant gratification. You feel great. You're like, yes, let's go. But what happens? And you crash even harder then.
Experts who caution against energy drinks say those who need caffeine should try an alternative that is safer and more beneficial.
Any other natural ways that you can go about increasing your energy? Exercise, good diet and nutrition, adequate sleep at night.
Young children and pregnant women are strongly advised not to consume energy drinks at all. But with locations selling them rapidly, even school vending machines promote an energy fix. I'm Stephanie Getzman reporting for Studio One.
Federal officials have received reports of 13 deaths over the last 4 years that may involve the 5 Hour Energy drink. As of now, the FDA is looking into regulations for all energy drinks and even considering an age requirement. And that's the news. Monty and Katie?
Thanks a lot, Allie. Well, I know it's pretty brown outside in our area.
Yes, it definitely is.
I don't know if there's enough snow out there for Santa's sleigh, but we're hoping there would be.
Yeah, pretty soon, hopefully we can make a snowman or something like that. Well, let's go to the weather news now with Stephanie Waldroth.
Thanks, Katie and Monty. It might be brown here, but in other parts of the United States, they're actually seeing a lot of precipitation, but not in the form of snow. Last week, there was a system that moved through the west coast that brought a lot of rain to the area and also brought wind gusts that were recorded as high as 60 miles per hour in parts of the Bay areas. And then the showers spread actually all the way into Nevada and northern Utah as well. Now, usually around this time of year, highs in the north should be around the 40s and 50s with a few 60s east of the Rockies and highs in the south should be mainly in the 60s and 70s, with some lower in the 80s in the desert. But this year, temperatures are almost 20 degrees above average, which is one of the reasons that all of the precipitation was brought through. And when the system moved through the area, almost 57,000 people were left without power, and almost a foot of snow fell in some parts of the Rocky. So a very strong storm that caused a lot of damage in some areas. Now, as the snow does come, people are getting excited to ride some snowmobiles, but safety is always first.
The trails can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Snowmobilers say the best plan of action is preparation.
Make sure there's enough snow where you're going. Make sure you know what the conditions are. Like if you're going on ice, make sure that the ice is safe.
The National Institute of Health says every year there are about 200 deaths and 14,000 injuries related to snowmobiles. Steve Magnuson says in case of emergencies or accidents, it is advised you bring more than just yourself.
Spare spark plugs, spare belt, maybe a tow rope, small first aid kit, stuff like that.
Snowmobiling can be an enjoyable adventure, an adventure that you should not go on alone.
And in a group like that, your chances of having an accident are less.
On a snow-fueled trip, safety experts say there is one thing you should always wear.
Helmets are very important, and in snowmobiling you very seldom see anybody ride without a helmet, mainly because they keep you real warm too.
It is always best to ride the snow on marked trails. This allows for riders to see obstacles and changes in terrain before they sled over them.
We have things like culverts and rocks and different things marked.
Steve says the way to stay safest on your sled is to be prepared, ride with others, know your path, and wear a helmet. I am Brianna Kump, reporting for Studio One Weather.
Now, if you're riding a snowmobile along the road, the speed limit is the same for the snowmobile as posted on the road, unless otherwise posted. Now, that brings us back to our weather question of the day. How thick does ice have to be before you can snowmobile on it? And the answer is 5 inches. So right now, I don't think we have any ice thick enough to snowmobile, but maybe later on in the year.
Yeah, I don't think so either, Steph. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, and if people are thinking of going out, of course you got to test the ice. That's the thing, these snowmobiles can go anywhere. You know, and so you just got to be careful when you're getting out there.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's turn to sports one last time with Brian Gendrell.
Thanks, Monty and Katie. Attendance for Division I women's basketball games set a record last season with more than 8.1 million fans. But one coach has an idea that could bring in a bigger crowd.
Connecticut's head coach Gino Ariyama thinks the game could still get more attention. His solution? Dunking. But his ideas are getting mixed reviews.
You know, a dunk is a dunk. It's still 2 points in my book. You know, it's more of a crowd-pleasing type of thing.
Coach Ariyama says he wants to lower the rim 7 inches. But change is not a word people like to hear.
I think lowering the rim, you got a lot of players that growing up playing on a 10-foot rim, and all of a sudden you're going to change it on them.
Although there are not many women who can dunk, there are some who can. This leaves players to believe it would be an unfair advantage.
I mean, if you had like a tall girl on your team, you'd have an advantage. You know, you could just throw her the ball and whatever, but it would just kind of take away from being good at defense, you know, offense, all that kind of stuff.
Giving vertically inclined women an upper hand, it would be easier for them to take the ball to the hoop.
I mean, I think that we're athletic enough and, you know, we're good enough where we can play with the same height, you know, a hoop. We maybe can't dunk it, but, you know, we can still make good plays and all that kind of stuff.
History shows over time players get more athletic, and soon there could be more dunks in a game without changing the hoop. With photographer Kelby Leak, I'm Kyle Searockers reporting for Studio One.
California head coach Lindsey Gottlieb liked that Ariyama gave a new perspective to the game, but she does not feel it would be the answer to build a bigger fan base. Now the answer to this week's Studio One Sports Trivia question: what was the only class quarterback Matt Leinart needed to take it in his final semester at USC? The answer was B, ballroom dancing. Leinart needed just to be enrolled in just one class to be considered a student and play in the national championship that year. That's the sports. Monty and Katie?
Thanks a lot, Brian. Santa only comes once a year. We wanted your thoughts on what you would want Santa to bring to town. Your thoughts are coming up.
Also, when asked to dance, people generally don't want to embarrass themselves. We'll meet a dance class that teaches people how to gain confidence to wow the crowd.
This scene is familiar, but you and your friends are at risk. 1 in 3 Americans will die from heart disease or stroke. Think about it, 1 in 3. Every day, more than 2,000 Americans die from cardiovascular disease. The Million Hearts Initiative works to prevent 1 million heart attacks and strokes. Understand the risks, get active, and reduce sodium and trans fats in your diet. It's a silent killer, but now is the time to take control of your health. Learn more about making a heart-healthy future.
At the University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, classes have real-life application. Mentors guide students. Our work improves quality of life by answering tough questions with creativity and innovation. The University of North Dakota College of Engineering and Mines, training tomorrow's engineering and geology experts today.
What does cancer look like? What about diabetes, heart disease? Medical laboratory professionals are a vital link in the treatment of disease and maintenance of health. They investigate clues found in the body that will direct patient care. The University of North Dakota's laboratory science programs are some of the most innovative, far-reaching, fully accredited programs in the nation. The UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences can help you become one of the few who see beneath the surface.
Most people don't know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. My time clock is around the clock. My ideas are fresh, but they need research and development. My business plan includes marketing strategies, legal documents, and a budget. My startup became possible through mentorship, hands-on experience, and learning from experts in the field. The Center for Innovation has contributed to more than 400 University of North Dakota student startups. Come with an idea. Leave with a business.
Awarded the overall excellence in cable TV by the Northwest Broadcast News Association, this is Studio One.
Hip-hop, Zumba, and the Just Dance video games are hot dance trends, but there's a club in Grand Forks, North Dakota that is enjoying a much older style of movement to music.
We can all picture it. When we hear the words swing dancing, we can put ourselves back in the 1940s. But one club is keeping swing in the new millennium.
You can swing dance to any music, pop music, doesn't matter. If it has a beat, you can do it.
Whether you could show up your grandparents on the dance floor, or if the only swinging you do is on the playground, everyone is welcome.
The lamest excuse not to come to dance is I don't know how to dance.
Learning to swing may also be a way to unwind after a busy day.
It's really my stress reliever. I have all these finals this week and I'm going to swing so I could just relax.
Many might think relaxing could be hard, considering some of the moves.
Aerials are so much fun. So we do it safely here instead of just pushing her over and stuff.
The aerial moves come with the sort of mystery seen in magic tricks.
Here it looks like I'm holding the girl up, but she's actually holding up herself. I let go. She's still doing all the work.
It might look like work, but participants say it's mostly about fun.
What's more fun than, meeting a lot of new people, learning some cool moves, and then being able to show off later?
And you see all these old people just dancing, and I'm like, I want to be those people when I'm older.
To the members of this club, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. With photographer Allie Strand, I'm Kayla Jars reporting for Studio One.
Tim says the club unofficially has plans to flash dance Walmart. They would show up, swing dance, and then leave. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. Christmas is right around the corner, and that means cookies and milk for old St. Nick. Most people want more than a lump of coal in their stocking. We wanted your thoughts on what you think is the perfect Christmas gift.
Maybe a house. I need a house. I don't want to live in an apartment anymore.
Honestly, my kids are 4 hours away, and why not? I'd love to be with them for Christmas.
A green electric scooter.
I would like a lifetime supply of K-Cups.
Trip to someplace warmer.
Purple.
Purple?
Yes.
Just like a purple box or what?
Yes.
I live in Florida and I like to go home, see my family, my nephew, and 2,200 miles away, I like to ride the sleigh with them all the way home.
I like to bake, so I'd like some things to bake. And also I'd like some things for my iPod to decorate it.
I think purple is on everyone's Christmas list, right? Still to come, there are millions of food recipes and cookbooks to use as guides when cooking. Our next guest uses his own food instinct to create a delicious seafood appetizer. Stay with us.
Studio One is a television show produced by students at the University of North Dakota.
You can be a part of the graphics team, the marketing team, news team, programming team, production team.
Training never ends.
You get to produce guests, you get to do the reporting side of it.
It's really worth the experience. You will not regret it.
This scene is familiar, but you and your friends are at risk. 1 in 3 Americans will die from heart disease or stroke. Think about it, 1 in 3. Every day, more than 2,000 Americans die from cardiovascular disease. The Million Hearts Initiative works to prevent 1 million heart attacks and strokes. Understand the risks, get active, and reduce sodium and trans fats in your diet. It's a silent killer, but now is the time to take control of your health. Learn more about making a heart-healthy future.
My doctor tells me to play outside every day.
I see a physician assistant in my rural clinic. I'm glad that she's here.
But healthcare is changing.
Rural North Dakota communities face workforce shortages, particularly in primary care. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences addresses the state's healthcare needs by educating the next generation of healthcare professionals. We advocate for improved health in rural communities.
It's not the size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
The holidays are a time for gathering together with others. Besides gifts, food is often shared among friends and family. Restaurant owner and chef Kim Holmes is here to show us how to make the perfect complement to any holiday gathering. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Merry Christmas and good evening.
And thanks for coming again. Of course, you're a regular on our show.
I love it.
Because you know how to cook.
But I keep waiting for my check.
Well, it's coming.
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail. Yeah, exactly.
Today we're going to do a shrimp salad with red and green and white colors, Christmas colors.
Christmas colors.
So we'll start out with 2.5 pounds of tiger shrimp that have been peeled and deveined and cooked. And you can put that in there.
Before we get started, I want to ask you, you have a fine dining restaurant in Grand Forks here in North Dakota.
Yes.
How's business? How's it going?
Superb.
Is it?
Very, very good. I've been very blessed. We've been open for 30 years here.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, this is just a simple taste of what you bring at your restaurant. There's a lot of great stuff there.
This is a great recipe for fixing in the morning, serving at night. Very easy to do.
Ease of use. That's great. And by the way, I've got a little demo cam here, so I'll be putting this into things so we can get up close shots of things like this. You know, I could have a chip right now and be the chip dipping into the dip.
You should like do it together.
Okay, well let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, dump this in the bowl.
Okay.
We'll do the dry ingredients.
Dry ingredients, all right.
Okay. Don't be shy,
what kind
dear.
of shrimp is this?
This is tiger shrimp. All right. There we go. And put the green onions in.
Can you use
the red pepper first?
Red peppers, okay.
Yeah, just dump them in. Just turn it over. There you go.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Okay.
And dump the green onions.
All right.
And then we'll put about half of this parsley in.
Okay, let's back up just a little bit because I want to talk about the shrimp. I mean, it's seafood.
Yes.
Sometimes when you mention seafood, people get a little bit nervous with serving others, especially a plate for people to dip into. What about the shrimp? How do you prepare it? What kind of shrimp is it?
Well, we cook the shrimp and we boil it real quick.
Okay.
You don't want to overcook shrimp.
So you're getting raw shrimp first?
No, we buy peeled in the vein, individually quick frozen shrimp for this dish, particular dish.
Okay.
And so you just run it under cold water, take the tails off, and chop it up in a food processor, and not too fine, but in nice chunks. And then there you go.
Okay.
And that's all you need.
So you do buy it raw, though, and you cook it up yourself?
Yes.
That's the best way to do it, you think?
Yeah, it is. It is. You're guaranteed a fresh product.
Sure. Okay.
And for those picky eaters out there, are there any substitute ingredients or different things you could put in the dish?
Well, you can use crab that's spelled with a K. That's really processed pollock from Alaska. That's airbrushed that makes it look like crab legs.
Isn't that the wieners of seafood kind of thing?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yep.
But you can't hurt anybody with that. And just you got to keep hot foods hot, cold foods cold.
Sure.
And when you're dealing with seafood, you keep it cold until you cook it.
Okay. So now we've got the seafood in. We've got peppers, onions, parsley. What do we do next?
Okay, we're going to do the wet ingredients, and you mix that separately so you can get it incorporated. This is Thai sweet chili sauce. We have shiraka, which is a spicy chili sauce.
Okay.
And then we have salt, a little bit, not too much. Watch your salt intake, and a little white pepper.
White pepper?
Yes, because you're mixing it with shrimp. You don't want to see black flecks.
Okay. And it also looked very fine, too. Is it finely ground white pepper?
Yes, yeah. And we grind that from peppercorns ourselves. Mix this quickly. Incorporate it with the shrimp. You can show the camera there. And then we mix this up.
That's looking. It's smelling good. We don't have.
Really
we've got the little camera. We don't have smell-o-vision yet. This is starting to smell really good.
Make sure it's thoroughly mixed. Now, what I've done is I've lined a bowl with saran wrap right here, and this will act as the mold.
All right.
For the shrimp salad.
Kim, I don't know if you know or not. While you're putting in the mold there, this is our 25th anniversary this year for Studio One. And, I get to taste your stuff whenever you come on, but it's, we need a real food critic
Hello, girlfriend.
to actually taste this stuff.
Merry Christmas.
This is Marilyn Haggerty, and she is a well-known food connoisseur, taster, and reviewer. And so I'm pretty sure we need to get her to take a cracker and taste what you just made.
Absolutely. And I would like you, lavash cracker or regular cracker. And then try from the
pre-made
platter.
All right.
The one
there you go, Marilyn. Come on in here, slide in here, and give it a taste. And we want to hear what you have to say about it.
Really good, I know. It's got to be good.
Dig in.
Wow. How many?
Okay. Go for it.
It has a sweeter taste.
Yes, that's the Thai sweet chili sauce. And then I have some hotter shiraka, which is a spicier.
This is very nice.
Yeah.
You make this quite often during the
Yes,
season?
we do, and we put it on our antipasto plate.
Marilyn, out of 10, I'm giving you a pretty big range there, 0 to 10.
10. Well, what else does he have here? Is there anything we can compare it to, or shall we just go?
I think this
10 is the best
Yeah, 10 is the best.
that I've ever tasted
Yeah.
of this. Well,
Now remember, you ate at La Bernardine, which is number 10 in my heart.
All right.
yes, I did eat there, but they gave me little glasses of wine.
All right.
and
You know what? Don't
I
even
can arrange that.
keep us in suspense. We're going to wrap up and go to commercial. We'll come back with your
And
summation.
thank you both for coming on the show
Oh,
today.
thank you for having us, and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be right back after this.
Closed captioning for Studio One is underwritten in part by NDAD, helping others to help themselves.
It's not the size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where they learn from leading experts, share in discoveries and create knowledge. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
Most people don't know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. My time clock is around the clock. My ideas are fresh, but they need research and development. My business plan includes marketing strategies, legal documents, and a budget. My startup became possible through mentorship, hands-on experience, and learning from experts in the field. The Center for Innovation has contributed to more than 400 University of North Dakota student startups. Come with an idea. Leave with a business.
Studio One is a television show produced by students at the University of North Dakota.
You can be a part of the graphics team, the marketing team, news team, programming team, production team.
Training never ends.
You get to produce gas, you get to do the reporting side of it.
It's really worth the experience. You will not regret it.
Well, Marilyn gave a 7.45 for the dip. She said she can't give a 10 because then there's no room to strive for.
And we're going to leave you now with pictures of our cast and crew. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great holiday.